Thanks for coming down and hanging out in the basement with me today. What I've got is an early Christmas gift. Follower of the channel, Uncle Salty, reached out to me, and after watching this video on the Kusan United States Army Atomic train, reached out to me and said, "Hey Jeremy, I've got a couple K-line chassis if you're interested." And I said, heck yeah. And I wanted to say, thank you very much, Uncle Salty. I really appreciate the donation. And it's going to go to a good cause because we'll get this unit up and running. Let's see what Uncle Salty brought me and see how we can use it. If you haven't seen that video about this engine, I'll toss a card up here and there'll also be a link in the description. But what we've got here is a very basic bottom of the barrel, you could say, as far as features go, train that was meant to compete on the bottom end of the scale with Lionel. Just cheap stuff. But I really like this shell. I think it's really cool. I think it's awesome that it's got an anti-aircraft gun on it. And there's also some other cars that go with it too that I've got. But this is just really cheap stuff. The motor was not usable, and this is also designed for 2-rail power, which I cannot use on my layout because I have a 3-rail layout. But so this chassis is unusable, but what I learned in another video from another creator was that it's possible to take out this chassis and put in a K-line one. And here is what Uncle Salty gifted the channel, which I think is really awesome. These are almost a little too beautiful to use for this, but he said, hey, I've got these. This is what I want you to use them on. And it's like, hey, heck yeah, I'll do it. Alright, let's bring this pup out here. These engines are from 1996. And from my research, K-Line sold these as a twin-powered set. And you go, whoa, that's really awesome. Two engines for the price of one kind of deal, but not quite. This second powered set does not have a reverse unit in it. So, future for this second engine is to retrofit it with a reverse unit. Probably something from eBay or who knows what, but this would be a good candidate for something else. But this guy here is the one that's got the reverse unit in it. And we're gonna clean up the wheels a little bit and get some of the fuzz out of here and have a good time and pop it out and make the transformation and see how difficult it really is. Now, how K-Line would do this originally is they had a cord from the second engine that would match up with this one. So the one reverse unit handled both engines. But let's clean this up a little bit and try it on the track first, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take my naphtha here and just kind of clean the wheels, because just with transportation or whatnot, some of these wheels got a little oily, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Super easy to clean off. Alright, let's get a little more naphtha on here. That front engine is looking much better. Oh, gotta clean that tire a little more. A little oily. Yeah, the traction tire is a little loose on here, which we can certainly fix that. Traction tires are no big deal to buy. Okay. Clean this back one up a bit. My first O-gauge engine was a K-Line. It was a starter set. I bought it actually kind of before the internet was, not really before the internet was a thing, but before internet purchasing was a thing, because that was a mail order deal. And I forget where I purchased it from, but it was the Tar Heel Express. I think it had an MP15 engine that would go about 900 miles an hour, it seemed like. But it made me, I bought it because, like, you know, I want to see if this O-gauge stuff, you know, is for me. And oh, rest is history. Piece cake to clean up. All right. Yeah, some of the chrome's coming off that. Interesting that it's chrome plated. I didn't know they chrome plated rollers. There we go. That's looking great. Alright. Now it's not marked on here which way is locked and which way is, you know, normal reverse operation. But, yeah. Let's power it on. See what she does. She works great. Half an amp. That thing draws hardly anything, which is kind of par for the course with those. And of course it runs on hardly anything. Well, I don't want to be programming it, so... Okay. Let's start this operation by removing the old chassis out of the Kusan. It's really great though, the screws are still here. So, this mold is actually the same mold. The tooling, after Kusan was sold and whatnot, got passed around to various manufacturers, and interestingly enough, this was called their K line, their introductory line. So, I don't think K line took their name from that. Maybe they did. I've read somewhere about the K line history, but I think it's kind of interesting that the mold is still in use, and is still in use today. Of course, it's been modified and whatnot, but it's very understandable. Alright, getting there some pliers. Yeah, this thing is just so cheap. The trucks are plastic and just Alright. It's pretty cool. You got a couple dudes up there. I like that. Alright. So yeah, the motor sat up here, and the mounts were broken on it, and just very, very cheap stuff. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Alright. Now, we got this guy out of the way. We'll also take a look at the inside of this mold, just to kind of see how it looks. Now, we'll take this 1996 engine, and it's also held in 4 places. So they say some modification is necessary. We'll find out what that is. Probably a little larger hole for the screws, I would think. Because of my early experience with K-Line being, you know, real budget friendly, it sort of surprised me when I got into the hobby that in K-Line's later years, besides making the cheaper stuff, they also made some really higher end stuff, which, like I said, it surprised me. Alright, what do we got? So, this is the connector that will go to the other unit. Alright. Inside the shell it says K-Line Electric Trains. Yeah, you can see here, move this out of the way a little bit, that the shell is identical. I mean, the reinforcements are in the same spot. This panel is in the same spot. Pretty amazing. Yeah, side reinforcements here in the same spot. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same tooling, which is really cool. Alright, let's take a look at the K-line one here. Got some extra weight here. We got some wires hanging around here for this second unit. We're just gonna leave them dangling, just for the fun of it. Got a Motorola chip on there. This is our bridge rectifier. This is just the reverse unit. No sounds or anything. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, very cool. Alright. Like I said, we might need to drill bigger holes. We'll see how things line up. This is plastic shell, so I'm not worried about those wires. Alright, let's see how it's going to look. What do you know? The holes line up perfectly for the screws. Now, I think these are bigger screws. Oh, what do you know? They fit. Yeah, the screws might be slightly bigger, but they fit. We're going to use the original screws. Okay. Alright, okay, we got a little issue with here. Okay. I think I knew that was going to be a problem. We will have to do a cut on that, which is no big deal. Yeah, so that's a little problem. Okay, so let's get out my saw. We'll cut that open, because the original one actually is much thinner like that, but that's okay. Let's see here. How are we looking? I think I'll just do what Lionel did and just... Alright, modification is done. And this cut's so ridiculously easy. This is made of styrene, I believe, so it's even cheaper than I thought. But you know, hey, it is what it is. It was meant to be low priced. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I love the styling of it. Alright, here we go. We're looking pretty good here. We are hitting a little bit on the back side here. See, the brake rigging is hitting a little bit on the back side. Kind of interesting. Let's see how they dealt with it here. Oh, you know, they're basically the same shape. Kind of wonder how they dealt with that. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe I'm just turning the wheel more than it really needs to go. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Alrighty. Let's put this guy on. Put the original screws back in here. I think that's great that that all lines up so nice. Alright, probably don't need this. Okay. I want to use the original screws because they are a different type. Not just flathead, but they have a different type of thread than the K-line ones. And thus the thread is already in here. So, for those of you that don't know, turn the screw backwards first to get it to seat into its old home. You don't want to be cutting new threads all the time, because you can only do that so many times and it's going to fail on you. last screw is here. Now what I could also do, since I've got a broken rear step, I could cut this step off and use the steps off the K-line, but that's okay. Like I said, this plastic cut really, really easy, so it is sheet styrene. Very soft modeling plastic. At least that's what I think it is. Alrighty. Let's check this pup out. Now we'll use the remote control. Yeah, she looks great. Alright. Remote control in hand. Track 1, I believe this is. Yep. Yeah. It's moving at 6 volts. That's pretty impressive. Alrighty. She's a runner. Alright, let's get out some cars and hook it up. Here she comes. Well, there you have it. The Kusan Army train, along with a few other Army stuff I've got, is now running again. And I really wanted to say thank you very much, Uncle Salty, for that generous gift. She's running great, and you really gave me 2 gifts, because that other unit is going to be used for something. That'll be a fun project to install a reverse unit in it. Check that out and whatnot. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think, and let's get this Army train rolling. That is a really good running engine. Really nice.